Hi, Aries. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for May of 2021. If you missed your annual birthday reading this year, no worries. It's not too late to find out all about what this year holds for you and to really take charge of it. You'll find a link for your annual solar return birthday reading in the YouTube description below. Well, you may notice we've got a new person here in the Zoom, and that would be Betsy. She's joined our practice recently and will be available for reading soon. And today's Betsy's going to be talking about Venus. But I want to begin actually with the moons. And the reason for that is that we have an eclipse going on this month. So the first of the moons this month is happening on the 11th. It is the new moon in Taurus, and it falls right here in your second house. And that's the house of finances. It's the house of things to do with your physical self and the stewardship of your physical self. New moons are great times to plant new seeds. This particular new moon we've named the lotus in the swamp because the moon in Taurus is known for its qualities of peacefulness and tranquility, like the very image of a lotus, but it's got a lovely trine from Pluto going on during this moon, which brings in those themes of transformation and metamorphosis, death and rebirth, but in an easeful, rather smooth way. And that Pluto is happening in the 10th house, causing some pretty big transformations and changes that have been going on for probably more than a decade, at least rumbling underneath the surface in your career. And this month, some of that stuff may actually play out in a really nice way in your finances. So the second moon that we have is an eclipse, and it's happening on the 26th. And this one is falling in Sagittarius, which is your 9th house. And here you see it opposite the sun in Gemini. A lunar eclipse is always a full moon. This particular one falls in Sagittarius and also conjuncts the south node, which means this is a releasing eclipse. Now, what the heck does all of that mean? Because that's a lot of complicated thoughts. Well, first of all, a lunar eclipse is often a very emotional experience. You're forced to look at your shadow and you feel a lot of emotions stirring about that. And so it may be an internal experience unless you throw a tantrum, in which case it will be something that other people see. This particular moon falls in your 9th house of your worldview and philosophy, the way that you approach the world and see the world, the lens you see the world through. And so you may find yourself feeling a lot of emotions about that. This particular moon also falls in Sagittarius, which means that it's going to stir up a lot of your cherished beliefs and belief systems. And that conjoined with the South Node says that it's time to release some aspects of beliefs that you've held for a long time that may not be serving you anymore. And a better idea would be to embrace this North Node in Gemini, which is logic and rationality. This one we're calling Get Off Your Pulpit and Be Curious, because if you've been very opinionated in the past, now is the time to stop dispensing answers and instead ask the questions. Well, Julia, I think you've got some news for us about Mercury.
I sure do. Well, hey there, Aries. So for the first couple of days of the month, Mercury, the planet of communication, also it represents how we think, how we strategize. It's in your second house of income as well as possessions, and it was in this house too last month. And during that time, you may have spent a lot of your mental energy trying to think about how you could either expand the material sphere of your life, whether that's increase your income, expand your business, or maybe get more stuff that you love. But very early in the month, by May 3rd, Mercury is going to move into the 3rd house. Mercury loves to be in this house because they both represent similar things. The 3rd house has a lot to do with communication, writing, speaking, learning. Wonderful transit to learn something new if you need to pick up a new skill set for work or just in your personal life. Also a wonderful time to just get unblocked and get a lot of good writing done. And since the 3rd house can also represent our siblings, if you have any siblings, you might be getting more phone calls and emails or texts from them as well. Now, the next planet I'm going to talk about is Mars, the planet of action, the planet of activity. It's in the sign of Cancer all month, which correlates with your 4th house. This is the house of home and family. And wherever we have Mars is where we put our energy, as well as where we might run into frustrations and conflicts. So, you know, this could also be kind of a choppy month in terms of getting along well with your family members or people that you live with. And the 4th house can also represent the past, our deep, deep past. So it's possible that there's some past issue resurfacing that's kind of getting you a little irritable in the present as well. So the best way to make use of this transit is to try to expend a lot of energy in the home front. Maybe do some home projects, or, you know, paint a room, for example. And Betsy, you've got some things to tell us about Venus too, huh?
I do. Hi, Aries. So Venus starts out the month in your 2nd house in Taurus. So Venus is about what we have, what we desire, and what we value. So you've probably been really enjoying those things that you have that are beautiful or sentimental for you, and also taking stock of your other kinds of resources. But on May 8th, when Venus moves into Gemini, she'll move into your 3rd house. So because Mercury is there too, as Julia was saying, it's a great time to write. And because Venus is joining Mercury, you might have an extra poetic kind of feeling quality to your writing, or to other ways that you might express yourself. An extra sense of beauty about what you're saying, or how you're saying it. And also like a beautiful way of thinking about things, more in an image kind of way than logic or fact necessarily. So Venus can bring a lot of beauty and harmony to your mind this month.
Nice stuff. So at this point in the month, around the 20th, the sun is moving into Gemini, and you can see that there's this gathering of planets right here in your 3rd house of communication, really bringing a lot of emphasis to that theme. Mercury is there, Venus has showed up, and now the sun is there too. And so there is a really big emphasis on this area. How do you communicate with others? Do you speak what you need to speak? Are you really using your voice to its fullest? And how good are you at listening? And do you let other people know that you've really heard them? So this is a really great year, really great month to bone up on your communication skills in general. Gemini season is just lovely. It's it involves a lot of the creatures of the air moving around, which I think symbolizes the stimulation of the sign Gemini. So just imagine, you know, a field filled with flowers and bees buzzing around and hummingbirds taking nectar, and you know, the birds flying around and the butterflies. It's lovely, it's stimulating, it's very mobile. So this month we've made you something a little different, and you'll find it in our news folder for the month. And that is a set of videos about how do we as astrologers cope with transits when we're having them. We're very accustomed to dispensing advice for you on how to handle your transits, but you know, we're human too, and we have to live through that stuff. And so in those videos, we talk pretty frankly about, you know, some of the planets that we love and maybe not so much. So you'll find that in the May 2021 news videos playlist on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology. You can always find us on the web at pandoraastrology.com, where you'll find the monthly forecast. Also, your horoscope will be there, and you can get readings from us. In very soon, Betsy will be added to that, and even take a class. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.